Today we're going to do pork chops with vinegar peppers, or as they're known in the New York area, New York Metro, cherry peppers. Okay, here's the pork chops. These are from Costco. So pork chops that you buy most of the time are not going to be the best quality. So the way we're going to do this, and this is similar to the way that it's done in the description, the recipe description, where I braised them in a pan for about an hour and a half. We're just going to braise them in the oven on 325. It's going to be a similar thing. If you have good quality pork chops, you can or if they're brined, or you could do a sear. You can make your sauce and then you can put it right on top, and then you could be done very quickly. Most of the time though, the pork chops that you're going to encounter in the supermarket, in Costco and places are not the best. And you know, you can look at these and there's just not a lot of marbling on them. So there's not a lot of fat content. So it's tough to make them. It's tough to make a good pork chop that way. So when you go to a restaurant, you order a Berkshire pork chop and you're like, it's amazing. It doesn't taste anything like the pork I have at home. The reason it doesn't taste anything like the pork you have at home is because it's not like the pork that you get at home. Okay, but this will allow great results, and it's simple because we're going to sear and we're going to get them right in the oven. All right, so let's talk cherry peppers. So these are sliced Cento brand cherry peppers. This is the exact same thing. This is hoagie spread. So this is nice when you're making an Italian hero. All right, so we got chicken stock right here. Got garlic, white wine, parsley. We're gonna finish with parsley. We're gonna use salt and pepper, we're gonna use olive oil, and we're gonna use vinegar from the cherry peppers. Okay, so I'm bringing my pork chops back again. Right before I set up to sear them, pat them really dry, get as much of the wetness off of them. Let them sit for about 20 minutes to 40 minutes before you start this process to kind of start to come up to room temperature. So you're not taking a real cold pork chop from the fridge. We're gonna put salt and pepper on both sides. We're gonna do that right now. Salt. Don't be shy about the amount of salt you put on there. Make sure you put enough. Now you can chop the garlic here, or you can leave it whole. All right, so the amount of garlic you put in is going to be strictly a matter of personal preference. I like a lot. If you don't like a lot, don't, or maybe you don't like any, don't use it. Just going to do just like kind of a rough chop dice. Okay. Okay, almost forgot about the cherry peppers. Yeah, I got the ones I have here, they're already cut. You know, they're already sliced. The only thing you'll encounter sometimes with these, if I can open it, you'll see this? So, see, that's the stem, so it's on it, and you know, you don't want that. So it sometimes gives, see, here's another example right there. So that's just how they slice them, you know, they slice them on a slicer. So what I do is I go through them before the ones I'm going to use, and I cut that little stem out. If you're using whole ones, you're going to be doing this process anyway. The only decision you're going to have to make if you use whole ones is, do you want all the seeds in there or not? Some people like to remove them, some leave them in there. Seeds have a little bit more of the spice. So these aren't very spicy. Cherry peppers are about 4,000 on the Scoville unit, so it's kind of low. Like a little less spicy than a jalapeno. Okay, in addition to the peppers, we're going to use about 1/4 cup of the vinegar. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Yep. Stem here. Stem, we got to get rid of them. Okay, we're just going to cut them out. Sometimes I get a jar, they don't have many. Let me take a few more. What I suggest you do when you make this dish, eat a couple peppers. Just eat them right away, and you'll know. If you're like, wow, these are really hot, then you don't want to use as much as I'm using right here. But for a spicy food lover, these are nothing. These won't even faze them. Okay, so now my pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna put some oil in here. Okay. And you know, ventilation, you might set off your smoke alarm, all that. What can you do, you know? Okay, so now the pork will naturally release. When you put it down in your oil in your pan, Don't be tempted to move it or anything. You see that? And see the sizzle on that? You don't have to be super high. You just gotta be about medium to medium high to get a really nice sear. Remember, dry pork, really dry pork. Even like if you salt and pepper them 5 minutes before, you might even have to pat them dry one more time. Because once you put salt on the meat, it's gonna start releasing water again. So, but if you do that, you'll get that perfect sear like that. I mean, that is perfect. So, maybe 3 minutes on the first side, 2 minutes. See, that's the other side. Maybe 2 minutes on the other side. And I think I can fit these last 3. There we go. Now, if you have like really good quality pork chops, like the Berkshire pork, you could just sear these completely on the, cook them through to 140 to 145, and then you can put them off to the side, make your sauce, and serve it over, and then you're done. So, it's a lot quicker if you have a good quality pork chop. But this way, the kind of way I'm doing it here, I'm gonna braise them in the oven. It kind of will ensure a better result no matter what the type of pork you're using. Okay, got a pan, big pan. I'm gonna lay my chops inside the pan, and then we're gonna make the sauce. See, my chops are not, they're not cooked at all yet. They're not cooked, they're seared on the outside. Okay, I'm gonna lower my heat, turn it off. Okay, I'm putting olive oil in. I got my heat off right now. The pan is still hot. Okay, garlic is going right in there. Okay. Once I think I'm sufficiently cool, I'm going to turn it back on to pretty much medium low. And I want to get my garlic lightly golden. Got our cherry peppers. Vinegar is going to steam up. It's going to steam up even more when we put more vinegar in there. Watch your nose. Got our white wine now. Vinegar. You don't have to do these one at a time. You can put them all in the same time. It doesn't matter. Chicken stock. And a little bit more water. Basically, I'm trying to get about 2 to 2.5 cups of liquid. That's going to be our braising liquid. We'll let this come up to a boil for just a few seconds. Ooh, hot, hot. Okay, here it is. Gonna pour it over them. So we got them right here. They're ready. Enough foil to adequately cover it. And we're gonna do this for 325 degrees for about 90 minutes. If you're worried about the liquid being a little bit thin at the end, we can thicken it up, but probably don't need to do that. But I'm gonna get them in the oven right now. It has been 90 minutes exactly that I've had these on. So let's check them out. So now you'll see here that you have a really nice tender pork chop. Just take your fork in. If they're soft, now if you want them even softer, you can cook them for another hour. And then they'll almost get to like falling apart point. I kind of like them like this. Okay, I'm gonna bring this up to a boil right now. As this is boiling out, so I did 90 minutes. If it's too tough for you, do another half an hour. A lot of that will depend on the thickness of your chop. These were about 3/4 inch thick. If you have 1/2 inch thick chops, it might even be less amount of time. If you have a thick chop, it could be longer. It's just simple braising principle. Braising is simply taking meat that's on the tougher side, putting it in liquid, cooking it slow in the oven, and getting it tender. That's it. That's what we're doing with this. This is an easy solution to a cheap cut of pork chop. So if you want a lot of the thick sauce, you're gonna have to start with a lot more liquid. And there's nothing wrong with that. At this point, before you do this, you could add, just if you want to get more sauce, add the equivalent amount of the chicken stock, vinegar, and white wine, and just boil it out, and you'll get that much more sauce. Okay. I think that's a good consistency right about there. Hey, there's our chops. If you have a lot of extra sauce like I do, Just dip some bread in here. So good. Okay, little parsley. Okay, and there you have it. There is pork chops with cherry peppers, or pork chops with vinegar peppers, depending on where you live. Simple, barely any ingredients in this one, and it's cheap. These are cheap chops, so we braise them to get them soft. The sauce is simple too. You saw it's 3 ingredient sauce. So I hope you enjoyed these pork chops with cherry peppers. Subscribe to this channel. I do a lot of dishes like this. Let me know the next dish you want me to make. Just leave it in the comments and I'll be sure to put it on the list. If you're interested in another really nice meat dish, check out Steak Pizzaiola, which is coming up next. Until next time, see ya.